good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today is another day of Old World Darkness, Kansas. Today's scene is happening at the Gray House, which is named for the fact that it's a very large house that is, in fact, gray, with even has a gray picket fence in the front, at least. And in the back is a greenhouse and gardens. And it is surrounded by the woods outside of Lawrence, Kansas, where Cassie will be sitting at the front porch with several cups of coffee and tea, freshly made, as if waiting for someone to arrive.
Like always.
Well, just to break the ice, I will walk out of the Gray House because I've been there for a little bit.
We'll say I'm going with you just since we probably have a buddy system.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I walk out of the Gray House, pick up a cup of tea, and I start sipping on it gingerly. Don't want to burn my lips.
As Zach and Caleb just kind of takes a tea, Zach will just kind of be there and he'll just give a respectful nod towards Cassie.
Which she'll nod while sipping on her tea. Like, I'm expecting company tonight. Or today. I expect they should be arriving soon.
Right after she says that, you see a car pull by. And out steps Caroline. She basically parks it over and walks up. She's like, hello.
Good afternoon. Would you like coffee or tea?
Oh, I would very much like tea. And she goes ahead and grabs a cup.
Hey, Caroline.
Oh, hello, Zach.
I don't know if we... Sorry.
Oh, Caroline, Caleb, Caroline. Co-worker of mine.
Hey, Caroline, I don't think we've met before.
I've met you.
Really? Huh. I guess I have a short memory then.
She smiles a little bit. She's like, you're that man I remember that disappeared and then reappeared with someone else.
That's not me?
I believe she's referring to Michael.
I'm very good with faces.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know your name, though.
Yeah.
Well, I am Cassie. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
Yeah, you'll notice there's still one more cup sitting up on the porch, as if there's someone else supposed to be here.
Skater boy shows up.
Probably skating all cool.
Yep, hands in his pockets as he's skating. He's just got that look of, just that blank look on his face of, utter, always kind of tiredness.
Caroline looks at him as he's approaching, and then kind of looks over at the garden, and then looks over at him, then looks over at the garden, and she's like,
She'll just, somewhat not ignoring Caroline, but not noticing Caroline's reaction. He'll just kind of give Erik a wave.
Erik will wave back, and then noticing the look on Caroline's face, because he is just this bitch, he'll give her a really wide, malicious smile.
She'll kind of quiver a little bit.
Oh, he'll just say as sipping some of the tea, he'll say, "Oh," under his breath. He actually he'll actually like gingerly, or not gingerly, just casually steps to the side, maybe a little bit closer to the house.
Cassie will look to Erik. Would you like tea or coffee?
No, thank you. I had water on my way over here.
Okay. Well, let me know if you get thirsty. There's also water if you'd like it.
Thank you.
So what brings you here, Erik? Just cruising by?
For the most part, I just thought it was right to kind of swing by here and see what was up.
He'll just kind of he'll just nod.
Caroline will kind of look over at Erik, and she's like, "It's a pleasure to see you again." And she has like kind of a half smile.
He'll just nod in her direction.
I'll kind of just nod at Erik.
So he'll kind of look over to Caleb. So Caleb, why did we come out here again? I forgot.
Oh, talk to Cassie, talk to Patch. Wanted to clear some things up, talk about a few things.
Patch?
Hmm?
Who's Patch?
Kind of turn to Cassie and give the hand motion for her to take it up.
He is one of the others who help run this place. Right now, I believe he is in the back tending to the garden.
Oh, yes, I wanted to look at the garden.
You are more than welcome to go look at the garden. Which, yeah, things should still be blooming quite nicely right now, this time of year.
Caroline will basically nod, and then she'll kind of look over to the direction of the garden and start walking there, like without really saying much of a word to everybody else.
She'll as she walks away, and Zach will kind of lean over to Zach, Cassie, and say, "You want us to keep an eye on her?"
Be my guest. I doubt she'll get into trouble, but
You never know, kind of thing.
yeah.
He'll nod.
Interactions with theirs and Patch tends to be wild and varied for how initial responses are. And hard to predict.
I guess so. I guess, well, Caleb, since you needed to talk to Cassie, I'll leave you two to it.
No, it's fine. It's nothing really.
Well, regardless, I'm gonna go keep an eye on her. And he kind of puts the tea down, and most of the cup is done, and he'll kind of give a nod to Cassie and say, "Thank you for the tea." And he'll go and follow Caroline.
I'll do the same. I'll follow Caroline. Taking my cup with me, of course.
Yep, and Eric is just sitting on the front porch because he doesn't want to go near the garden.
I'll find a way and bring you back. No way.
No, it's fun.
Sucked into the void of the greenhouse.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
So when you get back to the garden, you'll see, man tending to some of the flowers. He doesn't seem to be cutting any of them, but he does seem to be almost like he's talking to the flowers, which he is radiating a feeling of warmth, and there is a fog in the backyard.
Yeah. By the way, you also get that feeling of static electricity again.
Yes, this mage is, or sorcerers, we give you vibes.
She'll kind of approach Patch, and she'll be like, "You talk to the plants too?"
In a way.
You'll see her look at like a rare variety of plant that's in the garden. I'm certain that she's seen some that she hasn't even actually read about too. So she'll look at those too.
Yeah, because most of the plants in the garden are things that grow that are native to Europe. So they're not even native here, including some of the western parts of Asia.
You'll see Caroline like open up her satchel that she keeps on the side. She pulls out a glasses case, puts her glasses on, and then pulls out a book and starts looking through different plants and or descriptions in her book and comparing them to the garden.
Yeah. You'll, probably, flipping through it, you'll notice that most of these plants, as in at least the ones that you're identifying, all have either mystical or medicinal properties. In fact, actually, all of them have mystical properties. They're all ones that are related to usage in magic.
I kind of go up to Patch and say, "Do you have any peyote growing out here, by any chance? Just curious."
That is growing in one of the sections of the greenhouse there.
Oh, okay.
Why do you ask?
Just curious.
Personally, I'd recommend Morning Glory instead, but...
Yeah, I donated some seeds to you guys. How are those sproutlings coming along?
I've got them saved for planting next year. Currently already have some growing, so...
Okay.
Caroline will basically look at him and say, "There are some very interesting plants here. How much would it cost to buy some of the buds?"
Don't particularly sell them, but if you tell me which ones you're interested in, I might be able to give you a clipping.
She'll flip through her books and get some that like point to ones that are very, very interesting to her. Like, I can't think of. Maybe. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
You are flipping through a botany book, so you'd probably notice that one of the trees in the backyard is ash, is an ash tree, which is mystically known as Rowanwood.
Oh.
What is that? Out of character, what does that mean? Never mind, don't worry about it.
Then again, ash trees are pretty common in this area. Like, seriously?
Yeah,
Oh, look, pine, 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 ash, pine, 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 ash, pine.
Yeah.
That's true too.
yeah. Ash is pretty common in Kansas.
But no, she'll pick some kind of rare varieties that she wouldn't find commonly, but she could still grow here.
Yeah.
Without a greenhouse.
Yeah, you'll even kind of recognize that some of these grow here. Even if you were to plant them, you're pretty sure they'd probably just die. Like a lot of these are for a more humid and hotter environment than Kansas.
God, how do you get more humid than Kansas?
She kind of like raises an eyebrow, and then she looks at him and she's like, "How are you able to grow these? This is interesting." She pulls out a notepad and starts like scribbling down notes of this place, like of different varieties that she sees that can't grow here. She's like,
This particular location is relatively close to a warm river that keeps the surrounding area both humid and warmer than most of the rest of the surrounding areas. So the plants that normally can't thrive in most of Kansas are capable of thriving here.
out of character. If she peeks into the dreaming, I mean, not into the dreaming, into the Umbra, like she would have to be by herself because people would be able to notice that, right?
No.
No?
Okay. Yeah.
Could they roll perception awareness to know that like some mystical ability is being used though?
And it's stamina primal urge, right?
To peak, I think it's just...
No, you roll
No.
your gnosis and +3 difficulty to the gauntlet, right?
Yeah. Let me
I'll
check.
double check.
What gauntlet rating? Are you kidding me?
There's a gauntlet rating here.
What, 1 or 0? I'm not quite sure.
Not that low. Where?
It's probably 4.
You'd be wrong.
In all
Okay.
honesty, it's probably either 2 or 3.
That's why I'm checking the gauntlet rating chart.
Actually, I have it right here.
Gauntlet rating. Yeah, the difficulty's 3.
So diff 3, okay.
Whenever you're peaking, it's +3. So.
Diff 6.
Diff 6, okay. And quick question: if you botch a peaking roll, what happens then? Because you're not actually traveling.
Your head gets stuck in the upper. Ha!
Let me double check the Werewolf 20 book.
I'm kidding, guys. Yeah, I ate a burger again for the first time this week.
I feel bad. I think Kim left because she couldn't really play her character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna go and...
I was gonna hopefully do something, but
Doesn't specify what happens when you peak.
Okay.
Don't botch.
2 successes.
Okay. So you will notice that in the Umbra, one, the Umbra is really, really thin here. 2, that spirits here are, well, awake.
What?
As in, the spirits are awakened. They're active and moving and conscious and coherent, and Patch, you can actually see him through the gauntlet, as in he has an appearance in the Umbra that you can then see back because it's bleeding from the material world into the Umbra.
No.
Chris, side chat.
Oh, friend, this should.
Just roll count for her peeking into the Umbra.
As well.
For awareness.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we pretty much declared our actions at nearly the same time.
What was your action?
Perception awareness on Caroline.
Oh.
But he was stating that beforehand. Would he have to roll again, or?
Well, if he's looking at your aura, the fact that sparkles would show up in your aura would be a dead giveaway.
Okay.
To be honest, along with your general emotional state and the fact that your aura is particularly bright, like brighter than normal human. But basically, where Patch is standing in the Umbra, I believe the phrase is does Caroline have any occult?
I think she has like 3 actually.
Okay.
No, she has 2.
Okay. Well, the fact there's where Patch is standing, basically it looks like an angelic figure carrying a silver sword.
Now, Chris, describe me.
Because you don't have an avatar, you're technically not visible in the Umbra yet.
Oh, you would see this little whale around Zach. You'd see this little guy.
Yep.
Oh, that whale.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whale.
Every time I see that now, I'm just gonna assume that the whale is, stuck in the triangle.
It looked cool, man. Okay.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. It's like, okay, it's just stuck in the triangle.
Oh, I get you.
Caroline will basically then kind of like approach Patch again, and she'll be like, "You're not telling me the whole truth." She smiles, and then she's like, "This is very, very interesting."
Zach is just looking left and right, and has his arms crossed. Just kind of looking a little bit nervous.
I kind of just, I kind of pipe up and say, "Hey, Caroline? Coraline? Caroline.
It's Caroline.
What were you doing just now?"
She kind of smiles, then she looks over at Patch and everybody. Is there anybody else around besides us?
No.
She'd be like, "Well, your friend here already knows. I'm what is called a guru. And
Well,
I'm positive that all of you are not exactly human either."
yeah. What's this guru word? I'm more familiar with werewolf.
I'm still a person.
It's basically the same thing.
Okay. You're not going to try and kill me, right?
She smiles and she's like, "No, I feel like I'm more like how you guys are. I'm kind of a sorcerer among guru."
Okay. Because the last time we met, it wasn't on exactly friendly terms.
She'll say, "What? But I also have heard that you helped us before."
Yep. I have. Tried.
And that makes me not as cautious.
all the good it did us against Justin. Patch
I
here.
really don't.
He was a particularly nasty Bane, was he not?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
And yes, he does use the word Bane.
You'll see her like clench her hand, and then she'll just kind of look over, and then she'll say, "Well, it's been said across. It's been said among us that he's still out there."
What? Ugh.
Guess that means if we go out again to help, at least I can be there this time.
Shit means I'll be in my room reading a book. Sipping on some Earl Grey with some milk in it.
You okay, Caleb?
Yeah, why? What's up?
Oh, you just sounded kind of... No, forget it.
And then Caroline will kind of smile, and then she'll say, "By the way, while I am telling you this, you have to promise me that
Keep your secret. I promise.
and as well as while I am willing to talk to you about things, it doesn't mean all of us are."
So, okay, I'm going to ask the obvious question, the elephant in the room. What the fuck is a Bane?
She kind of like frowns a little, and then she kind of looks at you and she says, "My best term to describe them is a demon."
They're
Okay,
not.
good.
They're not quite demons. The two are technically mutually exclusive. They are similar in nature, but the location of origin is different.
I'll kind of just clasp my hands behind my back and widen my stance. Hold on. BRB, guys.
Yep.
But for any of you who know the position, it's parade rest. So, be right back.
So
But yeah, she was obviously trying to like dumb it down because she doesn't know how much you guys know about that.
and for the record, Caroline, I already promised you. So. Usually I tell people when there's something I can't say, I just simply say I'm not at liberty to say. Is that good enough?
As you realize that Patch knows probably a good chunk about this.
Yeah.
She's definitely like, you'll see her giving him like an acquisitive look here and there. Like every time he mentions things like that, she's like very intrigued about this man.
So, okay, they're not demons, but they're like demons, right?
Yes.
What about incubi?
Incubi are a type of demon.
Hmm.
And I would tell you this, I'd rather have to get into a tussle with a demon than a Bane any day. The demon you're more likely to convince to flee. The Bane's more likely to stick around for the long fight.
And she'll kind of frown a little and she'll say, "And also, Banes, they truly never die."
I mean, isn't that true about everything, though?
A Bane you kill, it goes into slumber and will reawaken as soon as it can regain more essence. A demon will, if you manage to defeat it, destroy it, whatever you want to call it, will get sent back to its home plane until it can regain power and come back. So neither are truly defeatable by most means. you would have to rip their entire essences apart into little shreds if you actually wanted to kill either.
Any
She can't-
consequences? Oh,
I was just gonna say she kind of frowns a little.
any consequences for doing that? Permanently killing a spirit?
Quite a good bit, a lot of enmity that would come from it. And I'm not aware of anyone powerful enough to actually do that. But I do know that it's possible.
She'll kind of look at you and she'll say, at most that I've heard of is that the best way we could have stopped him from being reborn, so to speak, is if we bound him to an item. And then...
Yeah. Binding him to an item, because if you bound him to a place, that could create issues. If binding him to a person would create a whole other set of issues that are equally unfun.
And I would hazard a guess, morally questionable.
Yes, that too.
So, Patch, I do have a question for you. How come you didn't, you seemed very displeased whenever you first met Kody?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
This is a really cool garden.
And then she'll kind of smile at whenever you say that, Adam. Like, she'll kind of smile at Zach, and then she'll turn to Patch, and she'll say, "Now that I'm certain that all of you are not human, were you speaking to the plant spirits?"
Yes.
Oh, Patch, by the way, I've been meaning to get my hands on some fly-eyed shark. Do you have any of that?
Depends on which particular type you're looking for.
The fun kind, not the kind that kills you.
No. I'm afraid I don't.
Oh.
Caroline will kind of smile when she found out that Patch spoke to the plant spirits, because then she'll like say, "That's very interesting, because I'd like to think that the spirits of the plants are my friends."
Yes, and if you treat the spirits nicely and give them most of the things they desire, then they can and possibly might become a friend.
Gonna double check a power. He kinda So can I be honest about something? Everyone here?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm getting vibes that there's a lot of tension between the people you represent, Caroline, and ours, every time we meet up with each other.
That's not exactly true. I did meet up with an Alex person, and she was quite civil.
She'll kind of look at you, Zach, and she'll say, "There's a reason for that. Not all of us have the same mind on humans."
I see. Well, I guess
I'm of a certain.
Go ahead.
I'm of a certain group that is very peaceful when it comes to mortals.
Okay.
But others
That's-
of us are very prone to our rage.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. Most of your kind tend to have that, what are the words I'm looking for? The, anger under the surface.
I can definitely feel it.
While the Gru also know that some of us, certain groups, were known for draining the lifebloods of a cairn, of a node, of a nexus, of a crossing of a ley line.
I'll kind of just give Patch a quizzical really look. You know, that's slightly mixed with disgust.
You mean the nodes that we protect?
Yes, some groups protect them, cherish them, revere them. Others raid them for their power for a momentary rush.
Why would they do that?
Desperation, who knows? Power, who knows?
Power is something that a lot of people strive for.
Some of them raided it for the momentary rush of power to handle a Gru that was chasing them. And so sometimes, while normally they would protect it, they had raided it for a momentary rush of power and had drained it completely to the point that it no longer existed, just trying to defend their own life.
Guessing there's nuance to this.
Yes. Which created a great deal of issues with Gru and mages.
All right. So he looks to Caroline. So Caroline, at least on my end, what should I know to make sure that I don't tread on your society's toes? Because I don't want, past history to influence the future, to cause more strife to occur.
Honestly, I appreciate that, and I really want peace. A lot of us are very prone to our rage, like I mentioned before, and they don't share that insight, and most of them would probably just attack you if you used any of your abilities on us.
Ah. So
Well-
no throwing around abilities, correct?
Some might even attack on sight.
Okay.
Well, I take just knowing about this new Guru, as you say, is a sentence to death in some people's eyes, or at least a good bashing over the head until, the person forgets about it.
Caroline's kind of gonna frown, and she'll say, "I don't want you to judge my people on what some of us do. That's not what we're all about. We're slowly dying, and a lot of us, it puts us on edge."
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear that, but that's quite the thing to reveal to us.
It's fine.
But yeah, that's kind of the feeling that I got from that silver guy the last time we met. He apparently overheard me telling Michael about you. That I knew about werewolves.
Silver, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Wait, was it silver?
No.
What was it? I would say the color of his fur. Yeah, it's you. You know the person I'm talking about, right?
Who, me?
No.
Out of character, the Get Fenris.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She'll just kind of look at you, and then she'll say, "Now, he has been blessed by one who is particularly fond of rage." And that has its place too.
Well, I'm glad he managed to redirect that rage into more productive means, especially when handling Justin.
She'll just kind of like frown again, and she'll say, "Well, like I said, Justin is still alive, and from what I understand, if you meet that man again, the..." She kind of frowns. She'll, I don't really, out of character, the Get Fenris. I can't remember his name now. Thanks a lot.
Lothar's largest.
Okay, Lothar. She'll like say, if you see him again, he's very angry about what happened with Justin. And he's been searching for him, so I wouldn't cross his path.
Okay. That's nice to hear. Well, not really nice to hear. It's news that is good to hear because, you know, it potentially saves us from a brutal death.
She smiles, and then she'll just kind of say, you know, I don't really want anyone to die. Only there to be peace.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a perception empathy on Patch.
Okay.
God damn it. 1.
I'll do it as well. Because fuck it.
What room did you roll that one in?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Wrong room. That was the Hong Kong one.
Law.
And this one I got 3. Take your pick, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it too. Okay.
Okay. So it's actually pretty obvious that he doesn't feel comfortable about the current topic of conversation, and he had I'd actually started typing it, which is when I assumed he actually would have done it. Was when I had started. Right when the conversation had switched to Lothar's largest.
So he's like typing down the conversation.
Well, no, that he doesn't feel comfortable with the current topic of conversation.
Oh, okay. I thought you said he was typing.
I was typing.
Oh, okay.
You know, basically, I started typing as soon as the conversation went to Lothar, and yeah.
You, I kind of looked at Patch and kind of having a casual expression on my face, I looked to him and say, is there, anything you want to say, man?
Just that I will have to agree that you should stay out of his way. Though, as he is a child of Wolverine, not by grouping, but by mystical lineage. His anger is easy to ignite and inflame.
Caroline will just kind of grimace a little bit and kind of look at you, and she'll say, "He's the type of person who will slit your throat and wear it without a moment's notice."
Considering my first time meeting him was both of us in the world's shadow.
World's shadow?
Or as others call it, the Umbra.
Okay.
Where your essence is laid more bare.
At the fact that you said Umbra, she'll just kind of look at you again, and then say, "Speaking of the Umbra, as you apparently seem to know about it, why are the spirits awakened here?"
Because I had roused them from their sleep and made sure that they were happy, content, and well cared for.
I'm looking at Caroline to see what her reaction is.
You can tell that she's smiling when he said "well cared for." She's like, "I'm glad." I'd like to think that while Lothgar has been blessed by Wolverine, I would like to say that the plants and nature have decided that they care for me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Charles, you're muted.
I'm kind of just giving you a skeptical look.
Caroline would kind of smiles a little bit, and she says, "I would show you if you were able to go, but I don't believe that is so."
I'm kind of just look at Patch, look back at Caroline, and say, "I think you're right."
I think I've seen I think Cassie told me that I could see the astral version of the Umbra.
So you can see into the Umbra.
I guess not the full picture, if that makes sense. Just,
there are multiple layers. The closest its shadow is known as the penumbra. Then there is the actual umbra, the high umbra. The astral is yet another vidar, another visage of it. It is technically the high, but not the deep.
She kind of grimaces at the sound of the deep Umbra.
The deep? What's the deep?
She looks at you and says, "You never want to go there."
Why? What's in the deep umbra?
Things which should not be. Are you familiar with H.P. Lovecraft?
I am.
Slightly.
All of those are real.
And in the deep umbra.
Oh, great.
Strange entities beyond time?
Yes. And indescribable.
Creatures that could destroy the very fabric of this world.
I wonder if it also works vice versa. He kind of sits there and you can kind of tell he's contemplating something.
The world as a whole rejects their existence, which is why they house themselves in the deep umbra. But a powerful enough will worker could draw them temporarily here.
Oh,
Why would
wonderful. You don't want to answer to that question.
Why? Because they're insane, or mad, or simply pushed to that point of desperation where they'll take any risk.
Caroline kind of looks and says, "That's another facet of why there is some lack of trust between Guru and your kind."
Because a guru you push to where they believe they have no choice and they'll just simply kill you. Possibly get groups and kill you. A will worker, if you push them to the point where they believe they've got no choice, they're so desperate for any solution, they will come up with any solution, and that's the issue. Is a lot of will workers will throw morality entirely out the window for an immediate solution.
That's never a good idea.
I'll be sure to keep all that in mind to make sure I don't do that.
But don't you know, the temptations of sin are so sweet, and I'll kind of just roll my eyes whenever I say that.
When people do things for all sorts of reasons, all you can do is just try your best to never do it.
Actually, like, Caroline will then she'll say, "If you can see into the Umbra, is it possible for you as sorcerers to travel?"
I've been told that there have been, I guess you could say, those who've fully walked down the path. I've heard they can step in, but those are secondhand accounts. I'm not sure about
Actually, Caroline will then remember, and then she'll kind of look at you and say, "Wait, are you Patch? I mean, I know you're Patch. Don't forgive me, but are you the one that the other Guru met in the Umbra?"
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure of Patch's capabilities.
Even if my capabilities were less, this place is a natural shallowing. It would be possible to bring others over with the right methods, even without someone being magical themselves.
I'm guessing no.
Okay.
Go ahead, Caleb.
That sounds a bit frightening, to be honest.
That's dangerous.
It would require them to know the old ways and how to perform them, which most do not know those old paths. But it is possible.
I'm guessing
Not
it would be
likely.
hard and very dangerous. Person could maybe get stuck.
Yes, likely a person could get stuck if they mess up on the last step. But if they mess up anywhere before then they would just have stepped off the path before they even started to cross. And so they'd be fine. It'd require someone capable of seeing into the other side and walking along the path, or to be knowledgeable enough of that particular area's layout to walk it.
For some strange odd reason, I think this particular type of ritual involves peyote.
No, more often than not, it was done with morning glory as the stimulus.
I mean, that works too.
And this particular area actually requires a large amount of rain and wind to even be able to form it. It'd require a large storm which invokes tornadoes to be able to use the paths here.
I mean, it's Kansas. Give it 30 minutes.
And you'd have to go outside and walk the paths during the storms, during the time where the winds of the tornado are reaching here.
Caroline will kind of smile and she'll say, "That reminds me of a certain movie."
What movie?
It has a yellow brick road in it.
I guess we're not in Kansas anymore.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
But remember, there's no place like home.
Well, that was quite the education.
It's
Which
Wizard of Oz.
that location follows that location which it is based off of is on the same mystic line as where this one is. It is on the same line. And so their methods of crossing are the same.
Caroline's smiling.
Even if the movie does not depict the accurate path, it at least has some elements that are true.
Well, I should try and go over sometime. Although, probably not in that particular way.
You want to enter into the Umbra?
Sure.
She's smiling. She's like, "I don't think I could take you myself, but I'm certain one of your friends over here could."
You sure that's a good idea?
No.
Well, at least you admit it.
Is it a good idea? No. But why do you still want to do it? I kind of just... 'Cause?
Well, you heard the consequences, man. I'm not sure if Patch is up to it, though. Or anybody here.
I mean, if my options are getting stuck in between the veils of the world or getting caught up in a tornado, yeah, that's pretty dire circumstances.
Well, also as sorcerers, y'all's essence would suffer from disassociation after a time.
What do you mean?
You would forget.
Oh, no, actually they wouldn't. Your spirit and your body would disassociate from each other.
Oh,
Disconnect.
What are the symptoms of that?
Your physical body you would start losing some control, some finesse, and eventually start feeling weak, uncoordinated, and then eventually your physical body would separate.
How long would that take, though? I mean, we're not planning an epic journey through the Umbra or anything. We're just wanting to visit for a little while.
A couple weeks, though time in the Umbra is fluid, more fluid than it is here. So depending on how far you go from here, it might only be a few minutes that pass for you, but it could be years here.
if you stay in a certain area, though, it doesn't
The difference is not
cause
as bad.
time. Exactly.
Well, I'm learning quite a bit. You know, the demons are real, and now the Umbra exists. This other world. So wait, how you described it made it sound like we would turn into ghosts.
You wouldn't turn into ghosts. It would be,
Your spiritual manifestation.
yeah.
I know this is going to be a weird question, but I think it's good to ask because there's so many definitions of what a spirit is. What is a spirit? What does that mean in actual, real life?
Well, for one, I would describe it as a type of energy that can never die. It's recycled.
That's a very vague description.
That's like, is it like, what is a spirit's nature and why does it do what it does?
A spirit doesn't really have like a specific nature, though. There are different types of spirits. Like,
Yeah, you mentioned Bane.
I'm certain
That is just a broad category. Like, there is a spirit for each of these plants. There's a spirit for the rocks. There's a spirit for each of the trees. There's a spirit inside each plane of glass of the greenhouse. There's a spirit in the bars of it. There is a spirit of the greenhouse as a collective whole. There is a spirit of the wind.
Say it like this. Spirits are a physical representation of energy inside the Umbra.
Nope, still lost me.
I'm starting to catch on. I guess my next question would then be, I don't mean to insult anyone with this question, but why? Why are there spirits?
The spirits follow human concepts, human ideas, or a representation of what is here in the physical world.
So humans accidentally make them, or is that intended?
Some accidentally make them. And generally it's not an individual accidentally makes them, it's a collective believe it, so it exists.
Right, because belief shapes reality.
Correct.
Oh.
Everything that you have read is true. Fiction is true. As long as enough people believe in something, it is true.
Oh, okay, that'll get me looking at cons very differently. Especially furry cons.
Zach looks like he's he's a thinker.
I kind of don't want to see the representations of furries, so that's kind of.
What? Wait, what about furries?
Caroline says, "Well, aren't werewolves a type of furry?" She smiles a little bit.
You know, I would think that would offend you guys.
She's like, "It doesn't offend me that much."
It would offend most. Don't ever call a werewolf a furry.
I'm not gonna call aware anything.
She smiles kind of big and like a kind of like a sly smile, and she's like, "No, you should totally call Lothgar a furry. He would very much appreciate that one."
No.
That is a trap. That is asking for limbs and or head to be ripped off. And not necessarily in that order.
And by the way, that was sarcasm.
I know. I know.
Thank you for explaining that to me. It totally went over my head.
I thought your reflexes were too fast. You would catch it.
That was some well-written stuff. Anyway. So when it comes to
Go ahead.
When it comes to your society, what could, at least on my end, what could we do to? Is there any specific territory you have besides the woods that we should stay away from? Is there a common hangout you guys have? Is there?
I cannot really just say where we live, but I can say that always be wary if you're traveling in the woods, because there's always a chance one of us is out there.
Lions, tigers, and werewolves, oh my.
Oh, keep
She
that
says,
in mind.
she kind of points at herself, and then she says, "See, some of us are not, this would not be their natural form. Some of them are actually wolves before they became a werewolf. So they have that nature."
Huh.
Which, from what I have been told, I would stay away from Kansas City and the woods outside of Manhattan. If you want to be safe.
He nods.
I'm not sure where outside of Manhattan. All I know is somewhere out there.
I'm pretty sure we would be stopped or eaten if we went through those woods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as close as I can pin it down to you, is which is probably as good as anyone wants to know. Just avoid there.
Like I said, there's always a chance that you can meet someone that you were not intending to in the woods.
Yeah, that.
Wait, are you guys the starters of the Little Red Riding Hood story?
She's laughing now. She's like laughing. She's like,
I wouldn't
well,
be surprised.
I guess that would be an interpretation, I suppose, but I wouldn't say exactly.
Zach is just kind of nodding at all of this. He's just nodding his head.
Okay. I guess I have poor jokes.
She laughed. It's just she's waiting for someone else to speak.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go bio. BRB.
Okay. See you, Caleb. He'll kind of look around and go. I'll kind of look in between Patch and Caroline. You know, there's probably a lot of realities that would probably stop this from happening. But, what do you guys... Do you think it might be a good idea to kind of have some official line of communication between Caroline's and us? That way we can maybe build some kind of rapport and respect for each other. At least here.
She's kind of frowning a little bit, and then she's like says, "Well, you have my number,
That's true.
but I don't think there's a lot of things that I could do officially."
Mm.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Zach just asked, what is there? Is it possible for anything to be done where, like, our two societies could officially kind of build some respect for each other? At least.
And she basically said, "No, but you have my phone number, and I can like contact you guys."
I got a couple of your guys' numbers, so
Same
I guess
here.
that's good enough.
Oh, by the way, and she'll pull out her phone and give you her number, Caleb, and then she'll give Patch her number.
Okay, I'll do the same. Actually, no, I won't do the same. I'll hand you a card.
Really? She's basically giving you her phone number, and then you hand her a card. Okay.
Wait, didn't I hand you a card last time?
No.
No, you didn't have the chance to.
Okay.
Which, Patch will write down the number, but he'll say, I don't actually carry a phone.
She's smiling, and she's like, "Well, that's fine. I plan to give Cassie my phone number as well."
Guess I could always reach you through the gray house, eh, Patch?
I mean, yeah, a lot of them could find me if need be.
What is the easiest way we can contact you then?
Most of the spirits around here know me. Beyond that, if you contact Cassie, she would be able to deliver a message to them on your behalf. So it'd be playing a nice game of telephone.
Okay. And do you think that I would be able to connect to them through other plant spirits?
Should be possible.
Are you telling me?
Then I have
Go ahead.
Then I have a very easy way to contact you.
Are you telling me plant spirits can uproot themselves in the Emperor and just walk?
It's all real, right, Caleb?
In all
They
honesty, it sounds like
have to uproot themselves. in all honesty, they could just float to wherever they wanted to go.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it just sounds like a really good acid trip.
You see her cringe a little bit, and then she's like, I suppose you could say that.
Zach kind of looks at everyone and like it's as if he wants to ask something, but he's not sure if he should ask. You can kind of definitely tell that it's all over his face.
Go ahead.
Is that what actually happens when you take psilocybin or LSD? Is the whole your brain is a more of a radio thing true?
I don't know about LSD because I don't consume any chemicals, but I have a few types of mushrooms that I've grown.
Yeah, they probably contain LSA or psilocybin, which will give you a really wicked trip. That's why the morning glory seeds and plants are so important. Why we've mentioned them a few times is because the seeds themselves contain LSA. Which is a step sideways, a step down from LSD.
Caroline will kind of like turn a little bit now, and then she'd be like, by the way, changing the topic, who is this man named Kody?
Zach's just gesture-wise, it's as if he's retreating from the conversation.
Yup. Pat's just going back, crossing his arms.
Same.
I kind of just give a wry smile and kind of look at the other two for a moment and say, he's a friend of mine.
A friend? He's obviously upsets your friends over here. What does he do?
He's a porn star.
A what?
He's a porn star.
You see her eyes kind of like shake a little bit, and like she's just like fluttering her eyes. She's like not believing that you said that. She'd be like,
What?
"Oh,
I can't be friends with a porn star? Seriously?
You said it.
I mean, you could also roll perception empathy.
I'm doing it.
she's doing it, and she has healthy skepticism." So it's so she has a -2 diff.
Okay. I did not think this through.
Hey, what would I roll? Perception, empathy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm rolling manipulation.
Yep. Manipulation, subterfuge.
Oh, you beat her. Because I got a 1. Actually, you would have beat her anyways because you're a defender. She's just kind of shaking her head.
Didn't Zygmus want to roll for empathy?
I did. I got 0.
Oh.
So they believe you. Or at least
She's
I
kind
don't
of
think.
she's kind of disgusted, actually.
Oh, Chris, I'm not entirely wrong. You just put a camera in front of the guy, you know. It goes from just casual to, you know, professional in a matter of seconds.
You just kind of look and just say, "Oh, that would explain a lot."
And she's gonna like kind of look at you and say, "What caused you to be friends with a porn star? And how come everybody like mentions him?"
He kind of just showed up one day.
Like he showed up at your house?
Yeah. He told me he told me he knew a few things about me and he wanted to stick around.
So a porn star said he knew a few things about you and he wanted to stay around you?
Yeah? What's wrong with that?
You don't find that sketchy at all?
Can I try again at a higher diff? Chris, you can. Yes. Chris, get +1 diff for standard.
+1.
Okay. I got 2.
I'll go ahead and roll 2 because she is not believing that now.
Yeah, that sounds like fucking sketch. Right
So it should be feet 5 now. 4 successes.
Oh gosh.
So, you can tell from the conversation that every time I say that he's a porn star, I kind of get a liar's twitch. But everything else is true.
They'll kind of say, "What is he really?"
No, like.
Oh, you didn't succeed. Defender goes to defender on ties.
Oh, so
Yeah,
wait, he doesn't have to roll again?
So Caroline doesn't have to roll again, but you do if you want to get it.
Because
so you only have to roll the manipulation subterfuge once.
Oh yeah, you might need to roll again.
Okay.
Charles.
Well, that's Chris.
Well, technically, y'all were trying to see through the lie that he had already told. That y'all had.
Okay, never mind. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so technically, y'all are trying to realize that the lie that he's still lying on the same exact lie about.
Yeah, okay. So Caroline will look at you, and then her eyes will narrow, and then she'll say, "So, he's not a porn star."
I'll kind of just give you a small smile and say, "What gives you that idea?"
She just smiles, then she says, "I know when someone's lying to me."
Okay. Well, for brevity, I prefer not to say what he is. Let's just stick with porn star for now because that matches his personality.
Yeah?
That makes it sound even worse. Just saying. You have a person who acts like a porn star that randomly found you interesting.
Mm-hmm. Partly why I'm trying to figure out my heritage.
You sure you should hang out with him? Because that's really suspicious. He just shows up?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than suspicious.
That's kind of predatory. I mean, unless, I don't know, and he kind of raises his hands and stops talking.
That's like full-on creeper stalker levels. Randomly shows up. "Oh, I find you interesting. Oh, yeah, I'll be friends with you now." Acts like a porn star. And how do you expect him to be a good person? She just kind of like does this, her eyes narrow and holds her arms up like,
Look, man, it's whatever's your business is your business. It's just
Hey,
that doesn't sound right.
Adam, but did you ride in the same car as me, or did you come in a separate vehicle?
We'll say I rode with you.
Okay, then you would know that he didn't want to come onto the property, and that I just left him in the car on the edge of the property, and that there was some other guy with us.
Wait, there was another guy with us?
Yep, some random dude, number 4.
And then he'll say-
187,000.
he'll just kind of get closer to you, not to get too loud, and he'll just say, "And who was the other guy in the car?"
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't
Okay,
know?
she's rolling to hear. She's rolling to hear that.
No, you don't. You don't even need to hear that. He's just like, "What do you mean you don't know who he is?"
Wait a second. So this person, you left him with another person?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so calm about this?
She's like full on like narrowing her eyes at you like, what the fuck is
I look
wrong
at
with you?
Patch.
She's looking at Patch too, like, and then looks at Kaleb, then looks at Patch like, what the hell?
Well, right now, Patch is definitely a hard read for what he's feeling.
But I can tell you this: he didn't want to come onto Cassie's property at all.
Yeah.
What would make him
dude,
not
I'm
want to
getting
come
it.
over here?
I think I'm getting an Uber tonight. I'll be honest with you. That's fucking. I'll be honest, man. That's fucking creepy.
Caroline kind of looks at you and she says, "It's fine. I'll give you a ride."
I appreciate that,
Oh, sorry you found it creepy.
but I think I am still going to go the other way. Well, Caleb, it's
He hasn't done anything too predatory to me yet, and he seems to follow directions pretty well.
Okay, he follows directions. Like, clarify this, because right now what you've described of this man has been very vague, and it does not paint him in a good light.
and strange and suspicious.
Yes. But then again, I also don't know him that well. I just know he came, he told me who he was, and that he was sent.
That's almost worse.
Yeah. But it's also he's also the same reason why I was coming to Patch, to talk to Patch and to talk to Cassie, as well as why I'm inquiring about my parentage and heritage. It's why I was so inquisitive about the DNA testing yesterday.
What are you trying to find out?
What I am.
What do you mean, what you are? I
Look,
don't.
Hey, I think we're getting into personal territory with Caleb. If this is his business and he doesn't want to know anything, that's fine, right?
I would have left it alone, but he was the one who brought up the conversation about who he was. He mentioned it earlier as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure myself out.
Yeah, which I can say this now, a blood test isn't going to help you any. Or ordinary blood tests will not find anything.
Caroline
And-
raises an eyebrow.
Can you run a blood test, Patch? I don't think that's exactly under your purview.
No. And I will put it to you this way, Caroline. The Karoo are not the only ones who are half spirit.
Now she's looking at both of you, like looking at Caleb and looking at Patch, and she's just kind of like squinting her eyebrows, looking at both of you.
Are you familiar with auras, Caroline?
I believe I've heard of them. I've read something about it in a book once or twice.
Okay. I can see auras. Patch and I have really extraordinarily bright auras. I know this because, mirrors exist. But whenever I try and compare that same level of brightness to, like, say, you or to Zach over here, Zach's aura is kind of okay. It's kind of meh.
Yeah,
Your
oh, go ahead.
your aura, Caroline, is marginally brighter than his. But mine is brighter than yours. And same with Patches. And the bright auras that you have is representative, is shared across all of the members of your Guru. All the members of Guru. The Guru.
Interesting.
So the fact that, this guy said he was sent from somewhere, shows up on my doorstep, and me having a bright aura kind of sets off a couple of red flags. It's not that I'm going at this completely blind. It's not completely trusting. It's just I'm trying to figure out who I am, and the best way to figure out who I am landed on my doorstep.
Charles, I'm sorry. She's gonna roll sense warm because she remembers that you teleported, like she was fine with that, but then like you have somebody who's going after you, you're saying that you have some involved with spirits and everything, and now she's very like
Never actually said I was involved. Never actually
Oh,
said I was involved with spirits.
Patch did.
Ah.
He said that both of you are kind of like,
Well, no, he didn't say that both of us were. He actually just said
they're not the
that
only ones.
they're not the only ones who are half spirit.
As in you, the Guru.
Yeah.
That's all he said. I mean,
yeah, like that we're not the only ones, and like then you were talking about like auras and all sorts of other things, and she's like,
I mean, it makes sense. That would be good enough motivation in my mind.
Yeah. So you'll be. Oh, I love this. You'll be rolling Sense Worm at difficulty 7.
Oh, God.
You can always spend a willpower.
Oh, God.
she will. And it's perception occult, so 6 dice with an automatic success. Four successes. Actually, wait, she has a alert, so 5 successes.
So are you smelling the area or just him?
Just him.
He's definitely wormier than normal. Not super bad, but wormier than normal. And Charles, there's a reason, because you had to cross running water to get onto the property, because the water spirits have already basically sent you through a rite of cleansing not too long ago. You're fine. You just got some residual worm pain on you that rite of cleansing can't get rid of.
She was about to do rite of cleansing on him, too.
Why do you think Kody won't enter the place?
Wait, is the entire area surrounded by water?
Yeah. The entire area is protected by a water spirit that hits everyone with running water as they enter in the Umbra.
Yeah, I saw it. Out of character.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
She's kind of like raising her eyebrow, but she's not like too concerned because she's seen people with higher worm taint than normal.
Yeah, he's definitely not at... He definitely doesn't hit Fomori level, but he's worse than your average human. Like, a human that rolled around in something weird.
Yeah.
She, like, takes mental note of this. She's like, okay.
By the way, I'm going to go ahead and roll for that before I get sidetracked.
Yep.
I'm like debating in my own head what. Just for the kick, Zach, during this conversation, is just going to kind of close his eyes. He's just going to kind of breathe in through his mouth and nose. To activate all Numina, it's diff 7 now, right, Chris?
Unless,
Yes.
of course, it specifies a diff.
6
Unless it's
successes.
specified diff.
6 successes, Chris, to see that. Hiccups. Sorry. She used the power.
Okay. Yep.
She used the power.
Yep.
So I got a success.
Yay.
So I... Hang on.
Which... One success is enough to...
For astral
Not bad.
projection 1, it's not... There's no, like, record... It's just... I think I just need 1.
Yep, and... Yep, just need 1.
Mhm.
And it has a specified diff of 8.
Yes, I put it as diff 8.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of looking up and around, and I kind of want to... Zach wants to be a little bit more spiritually aware during this conversation.
Would he see Caroline?
Book actually states that, like, the only thing that you can see from the Umbra into the real world is...
The astral.
well, yeah. Actually, yeah, he's in the astral, not in the penumbra.
Mhm.
He's seeing the astral. So, with the
But
astral, which...
The astral penumbra.
Yeah, you can actually see the physical world from. I know that because vampires and astral proj.
You'll see whenever you look over at Caroline, there's like what seems to be like plants growing out of her hair.
That would be if he was seeing the penumbra and the umbra.
Oh.
With the astral. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm seeing the high penumbra, not the middle penumbra.
You're not seeing the penumbra nor the middle umbra. You're seeing the high umbra, which is the umbra of concepts and thoughts.
Oh,
I
God.
thought there was a penumbra for each. Anyway,
I
don't
wonder-
worry about it.
Yeah.
I wonder what I look like in the high umbra of thoughts.
Well, first you'd have to go there.
What, he can't see me? Or do I just look like me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Technically.
we would still look like us because he's just looking in the high umbra, like the area of concepts. He would have to be looking into like the penumbra.
I don't have spirit sight.
Not yet.
Not at least for now.
Because you can see the material world or other abstract spirits in the realm of thought. So you'd get to see some abstract spirits in the high umbra.
Cool.
You might see this because like they are kind of like attracted to her. You might see like abstract spirits of nature around Caroline, but that's about it.
Technically, the astral would include abstract thoughts like love, peace, harmony.
Growth.
Oh God. Ooh.
Growth.
Yeah.
So you'd probably see the abstract thought of growth
Yeah.
around Caroline. But I don't know what you would see around me, though, which is the thing.
That's mainly what I wanted to check out.
Yep. Which
Because last time he used this, he didn't really get a good look at Kaleb. He was mostly looking around outside.
But yeah, I give Caroline. Damn it. Caroline.
You keep thinking of the Coraline the movie. She doesn't have button eyes.
Or a yellow coat. Or yellow uniform. Anyways, I'll kind of raise an eyebrow at Caroline and say, what'd you do? While we wait for plot.
She'll just say, I have my own skepticism when it comes to people, and especially since you said things that were very vague, and you talked of a man who was interested in you. I was a little interested as well, so I tried to detect if there was anything, like, tainted about you.
Well,
And if there was, I would cleanse it.
what did I check out?
You're a little bit tainted than normal, which is odd. But it's not unheard of.
Okay, that's all right. That's weird. Hey, since we're on the topic of taint, we were talking about demons yesterday. Can you get taint, or as the other person put it, jour from demons?
The only thing that I know that's demon-like is Banes.
Okay, well, same question applies, but can you get it from Banes by just being around them or interacting with them?
Banes can give lots of taint.
Huh, okay. Yeah, as I said, it's just a question that I had because of yesterday. When I found out
What happened yesterday?
Oh, we went. We were
Oh,
at,
demons.
yeah. We were talking at the infinite improbability drive, and with another mage, another sorcerer.
Infinite probability but drive. Actually, I wanted to go there.
I don't think it would suit you. No offense.
She raises an eyebrow.
It's a pretty sterile environment.
I was intrigued because the talk of science and plants being able to help in further technology and chemical compounds.
Yeah, they have and can. Aspirin.
I don't think that's what she was referring to.
Well, aspirin is a compound from a bark, if I remember correctly.
There's different types of things that plants are able to do. Like, some of the technology you see here today is because of plants.
Like solar panels?
It's a mix. Solar panels is a green type of energy, but how should I say it like this? Everything is alive, like we were talking about before with spirits. I think that by working together with plants, a lot of interesting things can happen with that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about botany, just to be honest with you, so I don't know the full extent that a plant might be able to help, but I'm certainly not knocking the idea. Not knocking.
Have you ever seen the periodic table of elements?
Yes.
There are certain elements that are basically made from plants. And certain elements can also affect ways like, say, I don't know. I don't really know much about this, but I know that they do help, along with different types of minerals and.
I don't know how I don't think they actually make any elements or create anything. They may be able to produce compounds by taking in elements, but I don't think they'll actually be able to make them, or only produce them. Carbon, maybe, but that's about it.
There could be potentially new means. Who knows, man?
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, just I don't know a whole lot about the field.
There's a few things like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus. A lot of those are basic, and even chlorophyll is magnesium, and that a mixture of those can aid in technology as well.
Sure, who knows? Maybe this whole time about nature and technology being at odds, who knows? Maybe we just weren't looking at things right. Maybe there's a whole different applications for all of this stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something I'm looking into.
Yeah, you should always look at nature first before you actually start on a project. It probably has already done it a whole lot better.
Yep. Made sure that the project I was working on was using green materials. Thinking about all the potential ecological damage because of production, blah, blah.
Well, your battery's going to screw that over.
I know, that's why I'm going to try and figure it out tomorrow. Or at least work started.
Caroline will basically say, see, I know a lot of my kind don't like technology, but I know that technology can work in its own way. And I understand that there are Weaver spirits that...
I'm sorry, what are those?
Weaver spirits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Weaver spirits are basically the spiders that hang to technology.
I'll kind of just snap my fingers and say, oh, okay.
So that's what you saw.
Yeah. I guess that would explain why that room was filled with spiders when I put on those VR goggles.
I think they could have just been it could have just been some program by...
Yeah, that's probably true too, but I've talked around to both Patch and I think it's Alex about it, and they both gave about the same response.
I would say that Weaver spirits aren't necessarily bad. They can be, but they're usually unified to one task. That's why I'm not so worried about that.
Well, I'm not sure much about the spirit world. Definitely something I want to study and look into. So, I mean, hey, Caroline, if you want to come over at the Infinite Improbability Drive, so long as everything is smooth and cool, you should be fine.
She's smiling. She's like, well, I think I'll go ahead and let you guys go. It was nice talking to you, and thank you for the plants. I have no idea out of character what she got, but she got some plants that were very rare that she could actually grow.
It was nice talking to you too, Caroline.
I kind of just give a nod.
Yep.
Hopefully
You'll see her. Go ahead.
Hopefully you and both our groups can get along.
I can only hope. She smiles. And then you'll see her walk inside the building before she
Leaves.
You know what? That's actually what she might be doing. Going out there to look for this man.
I mean, would you tell us about that?
No. And she does know that he's on the edges of the property. So she basically goes and gives Cassie her number, then proceeds to drive out, but then she parks her car like on the path and then like walks towards the edges and looks for a man.
I mean, I came in a car, so there's probably a car parked on like the main thoroughfare to get to Cassie's place.
Yep.
Dang, really?
Yep.
Does he like change appearance or something?
Yep.
Motherfucker. Yeah, I got nothing against the guy.
She'll approach him and say,
Yeah, which he's actually in the car. So he's in that car
What?
that's parked inside the road.
But some other dude.
Yep.
they're not doing anything, are they?
God. You mean like having sex? Yeah, they probably are.
Oh, dang. Caroline walks up to the car and she just kind of like, her eyes widen, turns away, and starts walking back. She's like,
I'm going in now. I'm going out.
She does. Before she does that, she kind of looks at the car, and then she's gonna use sense worm.
Roll it.
What diff would it be?
Just roll it.
Roll
I'll
it.
tell you. I'll
Okay.
tell you how many success. You know what you get.
He has a spec, by the way.
Okay. Okay. So have you out of character ever shoved your head like literally in the toilet bowl right after taking a dump?
No.
Jesus, what happened?
Well, because that's basically what you just did.
Oh my god.
And
I'm
basically you're going to be spending at least like, you know, the next half minute or so going, oh god, rolling on the ground from the terrible smell that you just smelled.
She's probably retching a little bit.
Yep.
I'm surprised those two in the car don't notice that.
They're probably too busy having sex.
I mean, let me roll his perception alertness.
Oh god. Oh god, why?
And then probably roll whether or not he cares.
Well, what about the other dude?
Man, the other dude doesn't matter. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So he's distracted. So I'm gonna call that +2 diff. Sound fair to everyone? Or should I make it
Yeah.
+3?
Probably
Or-
+3.
What?
Plus 2 works.
I zoned out.
Well, she's outside of a car, and he's also having hot, steamy sex in the car.
So we're rolling perception alertness?
No. For Kody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ryan. Because he's in his Ryan appearance. Yeah, I guess I'll do +3. Oh, he failed. Damn those ones. What the hell?
Well, after she gets done retching, she basically gets in her car and has a story to go tell the Sept.
Uh-oh. I mean, but then again, have you ever heard a person retch? That can get pretty loud. I'm surprised we can't hear it from, like, the backyard.
Nah.
They're probably getting intense, though. Like, this is appearance 8. Guys.
Yep, you'd have to hear the retching over the sounds of, like, the car squeaking back and forth.
And the sounds of
cars
the other,
back and forth and
the
just bodily
other-
fluids.
other noises on
Yeah,
top of those.
yeah.
Can you say screamer? Or, you know, the old classic, oh God, hey, stop saying that. That's not my name.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Just not in that tone.
We're like, oh my god.
So back at the greenhouse, just kind of looking left and right at Kaleb and Patch. So hey, good conversation. Didn't you want to? He looks at Kaleb. Didn't you want to talk more with Patch? You want me to leave you two alone?
Well, I was kind of wanting to introduce Patch to Cassie and Pat. I was kind of wanting to introduce Kody to Cassie and Patch. You know, establish him as my emergency contact and all that. At least get his face well known around here.
All right. Well, you lead the way.
I send a cursory text to Kody and say, "You almost done it? You almost done?"
Ah. I guess Kody will, finally text back like, I guess putting on pants now.
Thank you. Don't forget the reason why we came here. It was to introduce you to these two people.
Yeah.
Just make sure your text again. Just make sure your toy is okay before things get started. So I'll kind of just walk up to Patch and tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to have any folding tables, would you?"
Why would we need a folding table?
I was wanting to introduce you to Kody, or at least introduce Cassie to Kody, so you guys get to know him. Although I don't know what beef you have with him, so it's alright if you don't join.
I believe he would also offend Cassie's sensibilities far more than it offends mine. Mine is just you're dealing with things that are dangerous. You're playing with fire, and you're expecting to not get burnt.
I play with fire all the time. Oh, metaphor, got it. So you're saying it's a bad idea to introduce him to either of you?
I'm saying that it could be dangerous.
On which part?
Yes.
For all parties involved?
Pretty much.
Great. Well, this kind of puts a crimp in my plan, but all right. I'll kind of just say thank you, and I'll kind of just nod and walk back in to Cassie. And explain to Cassie, I was wanting Cassie, you to meet somebody, but apparently he would offend your sensibilities more than he offends Patch's. So, kind of getting the idea that that would be a bad idea.
Huh. Okay.
Which, I guess, Cassie would, I guess, nod and say, I guess I'll trust Patch's judgment.
You'll see Sky come out from one of the back rooms because he was already basically like in the building. Like he got here after Caroline, but like he was already like Cassie already waited for him and everything, and
Yep.
hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh,
Oh, nothing much.
Came out of the blue there. So, I like to Caleb. Anything else?
No, not really. I had some more personal matters to discuss with both, at least Patch. But did you want to do anything?
He kind of thinks for a moment. I mean, he looks to the four, everyone around, and never mind. Yeah, I think this might be a good time to, hit to bed, get fresh heads for the morning. He looks to Cassie, and he'll say, "You have rooms here, right?"
Yes, several.
Mind if I pay
You're
for a
welcome
room
for
to
the
rent?
one.
That'd be fantastic. Anyway, I'll see you two later.
Okay, well,
See you, man.
nice seeing you again.
Heck yeah. We can look into some stuff tomorrow or another day. Make sure
Okay.
the city is safe and all that.
Hey, we're not superheroes.
Hey,
Just call
safe for
Sky
everyone.
Beast Boy.
Hey, if it's safe for everyone else, it's safe for us. So anyway,
Yeah, just call Sky Beast Boy. He'll be on Teen Titans.
I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, later, guys, and thank you, Cassie.
Later.
He'll head inside the Gray House and, for the first time, kind of take a look around, explore. And at that point, Zach leaves.
Okay. But yeah, Sky, I just had some personal stuff. We had a guru here. A werewolf.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Just missed her.
Well, why did she come over here?
Oh, she has a weird thing with plants. If you hear her tell it, it sounds like she was raised by plants. You know, kind of like the whole raised by wolves thing from the Jungle Book.
Well, so I guess she would be raised by wolves and plants, eh?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, she wanted to come here, see what the plants were. She took a couple of cuttings home with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we talked.
About what?
We talked on the matters of spirit, life, death, and the things beyond.
That sounds a little crazy.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. It was almost like a... To hear us talk, it almost sounded like a really wonky acid trip.
Maybe you guys were taking acid and you just didn't know it.
Oh, trust me. I don't think Patch would let me live that one down.
By the way, did I hear you that Cody's over here?
He doesn't want to come onto the property for some reason or another.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's just opposed to a good home cooked meal and southern hospitality.
Welp. Did you find anything about the puppet master?
Mm-mm.
No.
Justin's still alive. He's a spirit though, so.
Wait, what?
Yep. Yeah. Apparently they lost him. I don't know. It's
No. Do you know how I kept attacking him with my freaking katana and nothing happened? Nothing happened. How the fuck is he still alive?
He's a spirit? Like I said, we talked about a lot of things, spirits, life, death, and the great beyond.
You should have told me that first, dick.
Well, I certainly have one.
That's kind of like highlight of the day material. Oh, remember that guy that we had a really tough time? Like, we could have died. We spent like hours basically just hacking at him, and like some sort of spirit came around, and like basically these werewolves had to like destroy him, and now he's still alive.
Yeah, nobody got hurt though.
But he's still alive.
Yeah. Then again, he's also a spirit.
So, even if he is a spirit, what's to say he's not going to come back and start gnawing on our faces again?
Good point. I'll be sure to draw a salt circle around my bed tonight. Oh,
this guy's just shaking his head.
Yeah, there's one more thing. I can't remember it. Oh, if you see that Lothgar fellow, stay away from him. He didn't take it too easy whenever the spirit went away.
Oh, you mean the guy that was like ripping off like the throat, the tongue, the eyes, like basically
held the ever beating heart in his hands? Yeah.
I don't think I really wanted to be by him by myself anyways. Thank you very much.
Oh, what else? What else? There's something else. I just can't remember it. Oh well. It will come to me. You can always ask Patch. He was there for the entirety of the conversation.
Is Patch in the building?
Yeah, but Chris is not feeling it.
Well, that's because you opened a bottle of scotch.
I didn't drink any of it.
He's
Actually-
ready to drink it. He's like, I'm tired of this.
By the way, Chris,
Yeah.
Zach will pay for the room
Okay.
for the night.
Okay.
You guys want to end it here?
Sure, I don't mind.
Okay, yeah, Chris wants to end it. We'll end it.
Okay,
Probably a good idea. We've been going for a couple hours now.
not that long. Of course, this thing doesn't actually give me a timer, so
We've been here for about 2 hours.
okay. So, somebody wants to end it.
Well, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, ST, graciously, for NPCing it up. We'll see you
Yeah.
later.
Bye.